talk about the projected top 12 picks in fantasy drafts next on Fantasy Football Today in 5. Welcome to FFT in 5. I'm Chris Towers. I'm here with Adam Azer, and we're going to take an early, not too early look at the top 12 picks in 2023 PPR drafts. And I think it's a really interesting year because I feel like, for me at least, there's kind of a really solid top 6, and then things really open up after there. And the way we're going to do this, Adam, is I'm just going to run through the way I have the top 12 ranked, and you just kind of interject when you disagree, and we'll see if we can get through, more than one without some disagreement. So we'll start off, and I think the number one pick should be Christian McCaffrey.
No. So
that's what I thought.
I originally, when this all started, I think I had Kelsey number 1, but now I have him 6. But this is how I feel about it, Chris. You said a top 6. I think Jefferson should be number 1, and
Sure.
I think 2 through 6 are interchangeable. I wouldn't even want to argue with you, but I would take Jefferson 1. The 6 games that McCaffrey and Elijah Mitchell played together, McCaffrey had, I think, 67 carries, and Mitchell had 62 carries.
That's the concern.
So I have him, Chris, as number 2 overall.
Whoa. Yeah, I've got Justin Jefferson number 2, and I think that's perfectly reasonable. I really think so I've got Christian McCaffrey number 1, Justin Jefferson number 2, Austin Eckler number 3, which I would guess you disagree with because I'm going to assume you have Jamar Chase number 3.
Yeah, Chase 3, Eckler 4. But if you ask me this tomorrow, they could be swapped.
So this is the thing I'm struggling with, is the consensus seems to be that there's a clear top 2 at wide receiver, and those 2 guys are top 3 picks, Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase, in some order. I know Heath Cummings has Jamar Chase as his number 1 player. I think he's the only one in our group who does, but I've seen plenty of people around the industry making that case. My thing is, we've seen 2 straight years now of Cooper Kupp averaging 25 fantasy points per game. Nobody else has even come close at the wide receiver position. Nobody's come close at any position to Cooper Kupp over the past 2 seasons. He's coming off an ankle injury, but it didn't require surgery. It's not expected to linger. Matthew Stafford is, by all accounts, healthier than he was at this point a year ago. I kind of think you can make a pretty compelling case for Cooper Kupp as the number 1 overall pick.
Oh, yeah.
Not just the number 1 wide receiver. And I think people are kind of outsmarting themselves when it comes to Cooper Kupp.
But you're also not putting him number 1. There's got to be a reason for that. So I think I have him.
Cowardice is the reason, Adam. I'm trying to talk myself into it, is where I'm at right now.
I'm not worried about his age. I'm not worried about his injury. I'm worried about his quarterback.
Sure.
I'm worried about them being just a terrible team. Stafford might be on his last legs. He stayed healthy in their Super Bowl season.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty rare for him lately. He gets hurt a lot. Sometimes he plays through it, but he's had back injuries, and that is my only concern. I do think Kupp could be the best. Like, if Kupp and Stafford for the games that Kupp and Stafford are both healthy, I think Kupp would be my number 1 player in fantasy. I have him 5th.
Where do you have Austin Eckler? I've got him 3rd, but he could easily move to 4th. You've got him 5th?
4th.
Okay.
Jefferson, McCaffrey, Chase, Eckler, Kupp, Kelsey.
And then I've got Kelsey 5th, Jamar Chase 6th. So, like you said, I don't think there's a lot separating that group. Kelsey, he's not going to score as many points as the rest of those guys in that discussion for the most part, but he outscored the number 2 tight end last season by 5 points per game, which is just a completely banana statistic. I think the gap between him and number 2 at tight end is basically the same as like the number 3 running back and the number 18 running back. It was the clearest edge you could have in fantasy football last season. After that, I know you're going to disagree with this one. I've got Jamar Chase at Jonathan Taylor at number 7. And that's one that people are down on Jonathan Taylor, and I don't quite understand why. I know there are some concerns that he's playing with a rookie quarterback, and also that rookie quarterback, Anthony Richardson, is a runner. And so there's probably not going to be a lot of pass catching in his game, but it's worth remembering Jonathan Taylor's never been a great high volume pass catcher, and he was the consensus number 1 pick last season. He dealt with the high ankle sprain that lingered for a lot of last season. I think that sapped his explosiveness. I think the addition of Anthony Richardson, if anything, is going to make this an even more run-heavy offense. It's going to lead to more efficiency for Jonathan Taylor. I think there's a legitimate chance. I think there's a legitimate case to be made that you should project Jonathan Taylor for 1,500 rushing yards, which is something I wouldn't say about anybody else.
I have him 10th. I have him as RB5. he's basically tied with Saquon Barkley. I have
Mhm.
Bijan Robinson 7th overall. I do love Jonathan Taylor. I love everybody in this round. But
They're first rounders for a reason.
right. So I'm not down on Jonathan Taylor, but I do think that you can't put him ahead of McCaffrey and Eckler in full PPR.
Yeah.
You could easily put him as RB3 as you did. I have him as RB5. I have Bijan Robinson to me as RB3, and then I have Barkley and Taylor as a tie basically for RB4.
Yeah, I go Saquon Barkley at number 8, Josh Jacobs at number 9, Bijan Robinson at 10, Tyreek Hill at number 11, and Stephon Diggs at 12. How do you round out the top 12?
Bijan Robinson 7, Tyreek Hill 8, Barkley, Taylor, Tony Pollard. I have 11, and I have Stephon Diggs 12. Josh Jacobs just missing the cut.
All right, that's going to do it for FFT and 5. We'll see you tomorrow.